All right, welcome back to the weekly story. My name is Tom and I'm going to jump right into it. So this week's episode is going to talk about multiple offers, bidding wars, buyers out there bidding on properties where you're up against 5, 10, 15, even 20 other people. What's the best way to go about it? How do you give yourself the advantage and the edge? And other than the obvious answer, which is just, well, pay the most amount of money. So I want to go over a few tips and tricks that I have found very useful over the years, especially in competitive markets, just like what we're seeing today. Okay, so the first tip is just acting fast. And this might sound obvious, but a lot of people will go see properties after 5 p.m. after the typical workday. I call this the 5 p.m. rush. If you can get in there and see the property at lunch, take half an hour on your lunch hour and go see it, you get in there before everyone else, you may be the first to the table, and that could help with your offer. Number 2 is having your 3 numbers. I think this is so important. So on any property that you see, you should have 3 numbers, and your realtor can help you figure out what these are. The first number is, okay, well, this is the number I'm going to offer if I'm the only offer on the table. This is the market value of the property. Number 2 is if you're competing with 2 offers or 20 offers, I don't care how many, if you're competing with someone, this is probably the range that you're going to have to be in. And number 3 is this is the top end that I think you should offer on this property. But if you'd be mad if you lost by $1,000, then bid that extra $1,000 higher. You know, it's easier said than done, but I always tell buyers to be cautiously optimistic when you're making offers on properties, because you can only control your situation. You can't control what anyone else is going to do. So if you put your best foot forward and you can sleep at night, whether you win or lose at that price, that's the absolute best way to go about a multiple offer situation. And the third tip I want to give you is just a few things that you can do on the offer date that's going to make your offer stand out. Number 1 is your offer being firm. Likelihood of it winning is always going to be a firm offer. Now that doesn't mean you're not doing your homework. It just means you're doing it before instead of after. So it's having the stat certificate reviewed before you make the offer, having your home inspection done before you make the offer, getting pre-approved, sending the property to your mortgage broker before you make the offer, instead in the typical marketplace where you can do that after the offer with the condition. So the firm offer wins 99.9% of the time. And on top of that, show up with a check in hand. If there's 2 offers that are identical, they're going to pick them on with a check all day long. The paperwork means nothing without that deposit. And the third one is give a little bit of personality. Hey, maybe write a letter about who you are in your situation. You never know. Any inch of advantage that you can get in offer presentations when you're bidding against a whole bunch of people may be the difference between you getting it and not getting it. And my last piece of advice is take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. It might not work out the first, second, maybe even third time around, but if you're a buyer in a competitive market like Toronto right now, just be calculated, know what you're looking for. I promise you everything happens for a reason, and sometimes if you lose, and I've said this many times before, it's not always a loss. Okay, I see this happen all the time. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know, tom@storyteam.ca, or send us a message. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and remember, home is where your story begins.